watching Let's Chat.
Today we're diving into Chattanooga-based brand J.W. Kelly. Here to give us a little bit more information is David and Carl. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, tell us a little bit about the history behind J.W. Kelly and the Deep Springs Distillery as well.
So J.W. Kelly was an immigrant from Waterford, Ireland. He came to the U.S. 1859 and then migrated to Nashville in the 1860s, where he was rectifying whiskey. And he then moved to Chattanooga in the late 1860s to start his own distillery, which is the Distillation Distillery. And he just kind of, started that process here. He was, towards the end of the Civil War, wanted to relocate his operation, fell in love with the city, so he came here, and he was the first distillery in the city of Chattanooga after the Civil War.
Wow, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where the distillery comes from, the name comes from. Now, you mentioned the term rectifying. What does that mean?
So rectifying is a little different from distillation. So a rectifier basically doesn't make their base alcohol. They purchase, whiskeys, ryes, and stuff like that, and they blend it out, and then sometimes do secondary finishes on it with like wine barrels or second use bourbon barrels to produce something unique, but they just don't distill. It's a major difference.
All right, so Carl, you do something a little bit different with the type of distillation. Tell me about that process.
Right, so typically, at least in the United States, a lot of the distillation process that is typically used is used in a column still. So basically that distillation process is going to be a little bit different than how we use our whiskeys. We use a pot distillation process. Pot distillation goes back a lot further than column distilling has been around. So basically, pot stills are typically made of copper, and that copper has a different flavor that is produced than through a column still. With the taste differentials that come in with the pot still, it's a longer process, so it takes longer to create, but it tends to taste better, creating a greater body and makes it a lot more creamy.
So a creamier, fuller flavor.
Exactly.
Is that a way to sum it up? Perfect.
But it takes a lot longer to do.
So speaking of those flavors, tell us a little bit about the products that you have available.
Sure. So the products that we have 3 different products that are on the shelves right now. We have our Old Milford, which is just our flagship bourbon. This bourbon comes through, or is bottled at a 94 proof. So it's still not as low proof as it needs to be, so we still like to keep some of that flavor in there. Then we also have our Old Milford single barrel. Our single barrel is double oaked. So basically what happens is we take that Old Milford, we re-barrel it, which ends up taking away the straight bourbon name. You no longer have the straight, because once it goes into a second barrel, that straight bourbon goes away. So it's still a bourbon. However, when it goes into that second barrel, it is a used bourbon, heavy charred bourbon barrel. And that's what you get there. This one comes out at 109 proof. So it's going to be a little bit stronger. It's going to be our high proof bourbon. Our third product is our Melrose Rye. Now the Melrose Rye is definitely special. What's so special about this is that once it comes through as a rye, we finish it in Amarone casks, which is an Italian red wine. Beautiful. It's uncomparable to anything else you'll find. You won't find any other ryes that are going to be finished in an Amarone cask like this.
I can tell how a lot of them are going to have some different flavors, and I know we're going to have you guys back on in several weeks to come, and we're going to be diving into some of the specific products and even talking about ways to, incorporate them in some of your favorite cocktails. In the meantime, if someone wants to go ahead and try these out, where are some places to purchase?
Every great liquor store in town is going to carry them. Some of our favorites are Riverside, Chattanooga Wine and Spirits, Imbibe, Bacchus and Hickson. Those are probably some of our stores that we have a great relationship with and always have our products in stock.
Perfect. And now, we mentioned we have future episodes coming, but what else is coming in the future for J.W. Kelly?
In the immediate future, we're probably going to see the addition of an additional rye that is going to be more something indicative of what you see in the rye world now. No alternatives, just a straight American rye whiskey. We're currently distributed in 16, 17 states and Canada as well, and we're looking to expand that hopefully by the end of 2020 and be in some more states and some more markets and get people more excited about our products. And then in the distant future, we plan on having like our own footprint where we're actually distilling, we're actually producing. We have a tasting room where people can come in and hang out with us and try the whiskey that Carl laborsomely puts together with lots of love for everyone to try, and that I smile and talk about and try to sell to everybody and get them excited about. And so hopefully not the immediate future, but soon we'll have that footprint where people
to look forward to.
Exactly, yeah.
In the meantime, though, you can visit your favorite store or even your favorite cocktail and dining establishment in some ways to try out these great brands. We're going to be diving into them a little bit deeper in detail in the coming weeks.